Hello everyone, welcome to the 12th edition of the International Greenstorm Nature Photography Exhibition. Hi, I'm George and we are in for a real treat today. A treat to some really beautiful photos. But before anything else, let me welcome Eric Solem, former head of the United Nations Environment Program, who's joining us from Oslo and who will inaugurate the exhibition. And a warm welcome to our high-profile jury members and also to all our 6,811 participants who have sent us their entries from across 52 countries around the world. You may be wondering, what does Greenstorm do? Let's check out the activities of the foundation during the last year. To tell you a little bit more about Greenstorm Foundation, let me invite my very good friend and the managing trustee of the foundation, Mr. Dilip Narayanan. The online photography contest was Dilip's brainchild, which he started 11 years ago. Dilip is from the creative field and runs his brand company.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all those who are watching us across different time zones. I can see guests from Kyiv to Kolkata, Singapore to Sharjah, Dhaka to Milan, Cairo to Leningrad. This internationality and diversity is very exciting and inspiring. People from different countries, from different linguistic, cultural and religious backgrounds have come together for the cause of Mother Nature. Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Eric, eminent jury, Mr. Pratap Sudan, Ms. Latika Nath and Mr. Ranjan Panda, esteemed Governing Council members and my dear nature lovers. 11 years ago, in 2009, we kick-started Greenstorm initiative with a poster exhibition in Kochi, a small city in South India. The journey from a single city to 52 countries across the world is really gratifying. Purity of intent, sincere efforts, and consistency in action has been our fundamental ethos. Friends, Mother Earth has been in business for the past 3.8 billion years. A business based on a highly sustainable and scalable model and built on a fairly simple purpose to support life, your life and mine. But what have we done to nature? In less than 100 years, we have managed to undo the careful balance planet had built over billions of years. And the result is a rising temperature, droughts, floods, landslides, piling waste, pollution and whatnot. Actually, our take, make, waste thinking has led to all these. To think sustainably, we need to shift to a new mind frame from take, make, waste approach to borrow, use, replenish thinking. I'll repeat, borrow, use, replenish. Basically, we should temporarily borrow resources from nature, briefly use them, and return them to nature through a continuous cyclical process. In fact, it's like borrowing something from your close friend and returning it in better shape. This is the core of sustainable thinking. The purpose of Greenstorm Foundation is to inculcate sustainable thinking in the young minds, thus triggering positive behavioral changes. To meet this purpose, we harness the power of creativity and the reach of digital media. We organize creative contests, exhibitions, storytelling at schools, and thought leadership lectures on a regular basis. The foundation is guided well by an eminent governing council comprising 4 people and supported by an active executive council of 6 members. I know our efforts are nothing compared to the magnitude of the issue. Climate change and global warming are no longer future fears. We are already in the middle of it. We are experiencing its very scary impact in our own lifetime. When we conduct programs at the ground level, we realize that people are aware about all these issues. However, our experience reveals that action is missing at the individual level, or it is not consistent at all. Let's not look at what the government or institutions do. What we should do individually is the big question. I would like to conclude with a humble appeal. Practice sustainable thinking on a daily basis. You can begin with simple things. Be conscious of the waste you create. Save energy. Save water. Travel responsibly. Recycle and reuse whenever and whatever possible. Give high priority to the protection of Mother Nature in all your actions. To put it simply, my dear friends, in your large heart, spare a small special corner for Mother Nature. Thank you.
Thank you, Dilip. Very inspiring. As I mentioned earlier, we had a record 6,811 entries this year, the highest that we have ever had. I guess the pandemic has its silver lining. But 6,811 entries has, as you know, its own set of challenges. The Foundation's back office, under the able leadership of Beena Madan, our Executive Council member, ably assisted by Jayakrishnan, had to work overtime to log, collate, and get the entries ready for the jury. And then the jury had a tough job ahead. Sitting together and discussing the merits or demerits of each photograph, like in earlier years, was ruled out. Hence, there was a lot of online interaction, and finally the jury, consisting of very eminent names. Latika Nath, who is a conservation ecologist and known photographer, popularly known as Tiger Princess, and who is currently based in Udaipur. Mr. Pratap Sutan, a Delhi-based renowned advertising professional, and Mr. Ranjan Panda, an awarded climate crusader, popularly known as the Waterman of Odisha. They chose the top 30 entries, and we are really very grateful to the 3 jury members for having spent more than the initially expected amount of time on the selection process. We are indeed privileged to have with us Mr. Eric Solem to inaugurate the online exhibition. Eric, who is joining us from Oslo, has held several very important international positions. A member of the Norwegian Parliament, he was appointed Minister of International Development. In 2007, he additionally became the Minister of the Environment, and he held both offices until 2012. He then was made the Under-Secretary General of the United Nations and the Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Program from 2016 to 2018. Eric has been recognized by several organizations for his contributions to international diplomacy as well as to the cause of the environment. Notable among these are the Champions of the Earth, United Nations flagship Global Environment Award, and the Time Magazine's Hero of the Environment Award. Eric is a prominent member of the Greens Party, which has protection of the environment as its core philosophy. And we at Greenstorm felt that there would not be a better person than Eric to be the chief guest of this program. Eric, we look forward to your address, and please inaugurate the online exhibition thereafter. Over to you, Eric.
Thank you so much, and good morning, America, good afternoon, Europe and Africa, and good evening, India and Asia. It's such a pleasure for me to be with all of you and to be opening this Greenstorm exhibition. Many people have asked me why I have decided to be an environment warrior, and I think my love for Mother Earth and my love for nature started up in the Norwegian mountains. When I was a kid, we were taken there by my mother. We were walking around. We were following all the cows and sheep and goats which were there. Occasionally, we could see wildlife like moose or fox or rabbit. I mean, we could go swimming in very, very cold lakes there. But it gave me a love for nature, love for Norwegian nature, but of course, love for Mother Earth. Later in Oslo, we have a big forest which is covering most of the city space of Oslo, except for the inhabited area. Which is an incredibly beautiful place. You can go skiing there in winter, you can go for walks there in summer, you can do any sort of sports. It's a fantastic place. And when I later became Minister of Environment in Norway, I also had the pleasure of conserving these great forests for future generations. What I do not imply is that all of you should particularly love Norwegian nature, but that you should look into your place and the incredible beauty of that, whether it's in Africa, America, Asia, wherever it is. And if you take India as an example, Norway is beautiful, but India is incredible. Whether it's the mountains of the Himalayas or the mountains of the western or eastern Ghats, whether it's the great rivers of Ganga or Yamuna, Brahmaputra, all the other great rivers, whether it's the paddy fields of Andhra Pradesh or Tamil Nadu or the great desert of Rajasthan, you can find beauty anywhere in India. And of course, it's meaningful to put that beauty on pictures so it can be recovered and can be seen by others. Whether it's the beauty of landscapes or the beauty of birds or animals living in this beauty. As you said, we are not caring well for Mother Earth. We should start reflecting why it's Mother Earth. It's not Father Earth. I mean, basically everywhere in the world we speak about Mother Earth. I think that's a signal we should treat Mother Earth in the same way that we want to treat our own mothers. I have met very few people who, some people are misbehaving towards the mother, but very few people believe that's the right thing to do. We all believe we should treat our mothers with respect, with dignity, with love, and with care. And that's exactly the same way we should care for the big mother of all of us, which is Mother Earth. And to look into what are the most beautiful spots, how Mother Earth cares so well for us, I think that's the way to new and big victories in the environment struggle. I think you're all aware there are basically three major environment problems of our age. It's climate change. We are warming up this planet. We see the melting of the ice in the Arctic, or we see the immense heat of northern India or Pakistan, for that matter. In summer, we see many impacts now of climate change, and in India, of course, the danger of the great rivers and their path is one of the biggest potential threats for the future. So we need to stop and slow global warming. Secondly, we need to stop pollution. Pollution is the biggest killer of humans these days. I mean, of course, during the COVID-19, pollution has come down substantially and they got a new threat. But during normal times, pollution is the biggest killer of people anywhere in the world, killing 9 million people every year just from air pollution alone, and because some of the Indian cities are very polluted, and we need to change this. And thirdly, we need to stop extinction of animals and the destruction of nature, the burning down of rainforests, or the wiping out of very important iconic animals like, say, the polar bear or the rhino. It's not like there is negatives on all this. There are lots of positive developments which we need to celebrate, but as humans we need to really take stock and start working on the big challenges of our age, which is how to care better for Mother Earth. I'm very optimistic because I believe we are in a new phase which people haven't recognized as yet. In India, have been visiting India since the 1980s on many occasions, and the big debate in India was always: do we want to develop, bring people out of poverty, bring everyone up into the middle class, create prosperity and a nice life for everyone? Or do we want to take care of Mother Earth and nature? And then, of course, nearly everyone wanted to develop, given that choice. That's such an old-fashioned choice, because now we can do both. We have all the policies for bringing every single Indian and every single inhabitant of Mother Earth out of poverty, bring everyone up to the middle class, create education for everyone, create healthcare for everyone, while at the same time protecting Mother Earth. We have all the win-win policies, which were not available in the past. What's that? Well, when Prime Minister Modi of India has started the International Solar Alliance, and when solar energy in India is now the cheapest anywhere in the world, and where solar energy in India and everywhere else in the world is cheaper than coal, why would we continue to invest in coal? It's bad for, yes, environment, bad for health, and bad for the economy and jobs at the same time. There are many more jobs, much more prosperity to be had, a lot of money to be saved if we move into solar energy rather than sticking to coal. And of course, that's a great example of the win-win policies, good for economy, good for environment. If we move on to China, they are the world leader when it comes to environment-friendly transport. 70% of all high-speed, environment-friendly rails are in China, and 99% of all electric buses in the world are in China alone. But from China, they are now coming to the rest of the world. Many Indian cities have no programs to introduce electrical buses. I mean, Delhi, Ahmedabad, Kolkata, Mumbai. There are many others. So a lot is happening, and again, great for the economy, great for Mother Earth. Small Latin American nation of Costa Rica, they have doubled the tree cover in the last one generation, from 1/4 to half of the land, creating a great economy, bringing in tourists, gaining enormous self-confidence in Costa Rica. So again, a win-win solution. And in Europe, just this year, two smaller nations like Austria and Sweden has phased out coal completely, and bigger nations like the United Kingdom and France will do it in the next couple of years. And Germany made a pathway to a no-coal economy, basing their environment on solar and wind and other renewable energies. So we have all these win-win propositions, which are the new way forward. That also applies to protecting nature. Let me mention one example. A small African nation called Rwanda in the midst of Africa. They have the biggest gorilla population in the world, shared with the neighboring countries, and the number of gorillas are now increasing by the day. Why is that? They have made an economy so that the people living in and nearby the national parks benefit immensely from protecting the gorillas. They get jobs, taxi drivers, tourist guides, people working in the hotels, whatever it may be. An enormous incentive to protect Mother Earth, because you protect Mother Earth, but you also protect your own family and your life and your economy. So you get this win-win. And in India, we see a lot of the same. And in Nepal, the number of tigers in Nepal has been doubled. It's the first country in modern times which has doubled the tiger population. And also in India, we see a good increase. National parks are linked together with pathways. And you see local people supporting this, even if tiger is a very dangerous animal for humans. It's one of the very few animals which attack humans to eat us. Very few animals do that, so it's dangerous, but people see the benefit of conserving and protecting the tigers because it may create local self-confidence, pride, and of course a number of jobs. So we are with the turning point in human history where we can really protect our planet while protecting ourselves and the human species at the same time. And I believe that photography has a big role to play in this, because if you want to create excitement, interest in Mother Earth and nature, yes, of course we need to go out and see for ourselves, but we cannot see everything for ourselves. We cannot be everywhere, and sometimes you also need a good photographer to discover the miracles of animals or flies or birds or small nuances in nature. So nature can make, so photography can make nature a living being for all of us. If you look to history, in many occasions, photography has been a main driver of change. The Vietnam War comes to my memory. A few of the photos made from the Vietnam War were the critical element to mobilize the public opinion against the war, and at the end close it down, and at the end then bringing peace to Vietnam and making Vietnam an independent, unified country. True, it took too long. Too many people died on the way, but photography was a key element in finalizing the war because these photos spoke more than long reports by journalists and others. So I'm so happy to be able to, and honored to be able to open the Greenstorm exhibition. Photos can take us to places we have never been to and will never go to, can show us parts of nature which we don't see ourselves and don't understand. And I'm very confident that these, I have seen some of the photos, they are so beautiful, so exciting. They will have a huge role to play in exciting all of us to mobilize to protect this one little vulnerable but so incredible and beautiful planet where we are all walking around. So allow me to open this exhibition, and I'm very much inviting people to watch it.
All the photos. We'll quickly scroll through that. The top 30 photographs have come in there. Eric, really beautiful photographs. What do you say? Really beautiful.
Oh my God,
photographs.
that's so beautiful. But I need to take time to study each of them a lot more. But they're incredible. You can see that from the scroll. They will inspire a lot of people. Gosh.
You've had a brief glimpse of the top 30 entries, and now let me explain the voting process. You scroll down the exhibited photographs, and the photographs are displayed in the order of their submission. Select the vote icon against the entry that you wish to vote for. One person can vote only for one photograph. To cast your vote, click the submit button at the bottom of the page. In case you want to change your selection, deselect and select a new one before submission. Check out the entries, vote for the best photograph, and share your favorite pictures. Spread the word. The last date for voting is 30th September. Let's have another look at the top 30 entries. really beautiful photographs, and each one of them tells a story. I now request my fellow trustee, Anil Menon, for pleasantries.
All of us have been really fortunate to listen to Mr. Eric Solem, and I'm sure this will motivate us to do more for Mother Nature. Eric, thank you very much, and we at the Greenstorm look forward to work with you in the future. The jury members had a real challenge before them, but they were more than equal to the task and spent a lot of their time in selecting the top 30 entries. A big thank you to Latika, Pratap, and Ranchan. This year, we have had a record number of entries, 6,811 from 52 countries around the world. Greenstorm thanks each and every contestant for taking time out and sending us their entry. We also thank you for our green partners who have shown a strong sense of responsibility towards the environment. There have been several persons who are not part of the foundation, but have given us a lot of assistance to get this together. The foundation remains indebted to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Anil, and it's now time to close. Do associate with the Greenstorm Foundation if you feel we all need to do something to protect Mother Nature. Thank you for joining this telecast, and goodbye for now.